Okay, Jai Jagannath, we are studying Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Jnana Yoga, the Yoga of Knowledge. So, verse 1. The Lord said, I have explained this eternal science of yoga to Vivaswan, and Vivaswan taught it to Manu, and Manu told it to Ikshvaku. So, this means at the beginning of creation of the universe. Maybe not the beginning of creation, it's the beginning of this creation, which means the beginning of the Manvantara. Vivaswan, by Baswatamanu. Okay, 2.
So one thing in this
Yes.
one, when Lord says that he explained this yoga, so yoga he is referring to the karma yoga from last chapter, or he is going to explain now when he is setting the context.
Right. The meaning of yoga. When Krishna speaks about yoga, he speaks of the sum total of yoga. The
Okay.
entire science of yoga. So all the chapters of Gita are taking their name from a particular approach to yoga. But the yoga is one. Now, it is true that many people got this idea, that Bhakti Yoga is different from Jnana Yoga, and the Kriya Yoga is another thing, and then we have the Hasa Yoga, and the Doga Yoga, and, also Nidra Yoga, and all sorts of weird ideas. But yoga is one. So, the particular presentation that Krishna is doing goes through a logical thread. There is no chapter entitled to Kriya Yoga, for example, or Hatha Yoga, because those are not important parts of the yoga. Krishna gives a very short mention about how to prepare the asana, how to sit, how to meditate, but that's not long, and that's not important. In fact, there is no such thing as Kriya Yoga or Hatha Yoga. I don't think that you'll find those definitions in the original Yoga Shastra. There are Yoga Kriyas. This is definitely a fact. Yoga Kriya means a technique of yoga. And Hatha Yoga is Hatha is a kind of attribute which means that the yoga is supposed to balance the two main energies in the body, which is the male and female energy, the two brain hemispheres, and the Ida and Pingala. So that is the meaning of Hatha. The Raja Yoga is not a different type of yoga, because Krishna in Gita, speaking about yoga in general, he calls yoga in general as the Raja Vidya. So Raja Yoga means the yoga of the kings. No, it's not that the kings had a particularly different type of yoga. Vishnu has many names. Okay, so we cannot say that Krishna is not Vishnu, or that any form of Vishnu or avatar of Vishnu is not Vishnu. They are all particular approaches that forms and names and qualities and activities, but it's all Vishnu. So the same way, all the approaches to yoga, all the perspectives on yoga, it's all yoga. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Any objection?
No.
Okay.
Clear.
So
It's just that, since chapter is beginning with that, so I thought whether he's differentiating or he's just explaining. Okay, yeah.
he's going to say, to elaborate on the concept of knowledge in yoga. Yeah, that is a fact. Okay.
Mhm.
Then we go on. We find here the Raja Rishis. They say, O Parantapa, Arjuna. In this way, the Raja Rishis have learned this knowledge in a descending line, but after such a long time, this yoga has become lost. Because this is what happens. Sakala neha mahata yoga nashta. Sometimes it goes lost even with a shorter time, especially in Kali Yuga, but it's okay. It's not that yoga starts at some point in history and it was invented at that point and it was not there before. It has always been there. That's why it's called Sanatana. Okay. 3. Today I'm explaining to you the same knowledge of yoga that was discussed in the ancient times. Because you are my devotee and friend, I give you this supreme secret. Okay. Rahasyam means secret. It's the same like mystery. Okay. Something that is not made public normally. So, sometimes people are using the expression Sanatana Dharma to refer to Hinduism. Actually, Sanatana Dharma is yoga, not Hinduism. Because Hinduism is regularly updated. Like, for example, in Satyuga, there were no Varnas. And today also there are no Varnas. Before Adi Shankar, the idea of sannyas was totally different. In fact, we see in the Upanishads, the sannyasa Upanishads are very clear. But Adi Shankar started a completely different system that was a system of the mats. They are not exactly monasteries, as usually people translate the term, but they are ashrams, practically, where sannyasis and brahmacharis live, which is not something that was contemplated in the Varnashrama Dharma, in the original Varnashrama Dharma. So Hinduism keeps being updated and adapted and everything, but the yoga is always the same. And Sanatana Dharma is always the same. Sometimes the connection is lost, so it is forgotten, but it's always science is always valid. The law of gravity, if people forget the law of gravity, it doesn't mean that the law is lost. The connection, the knowledge of the law of gravity is lost, but not the gravity itself. Okay. 4. Arjuna said, Vivasvan appeared long before you appeared, so he is much older than you. How am I to understand that in the beginning of creation you instructed him? Arjuna is asking questions. So asking questions is always a good idea. The Lord said, O Arjuna, both you and I have known many lifetimes. I remember them all, while you do not, O Parantapa. So this is interesting in the sense that there is a difference between the avatar and the Jiva. Now, whether Arjuna is an avatar of Shiva, so he's just forgetting the previous lifetimes because that is required by the Leela or not, it's not really important. Important thing is that we understand that when Krishna is speaking about himself, like I and me and my and whatever, he's not just speaking for his current avatar. He's speaking in general, because the spiritual body is made of consciousness, awareness. So the full memory, full awareness is there. Then we go. Verse 6. Okay, little. Okay. Although I am unborn and imperishable, and although I am the supreme lord of the creatures, states of being, I am present in, or I control this Prakriti that belongs to me, and I manifest myself out of my own power. Now, we see here that we have different levels of meanings. Different levels of meaning in this verse. Yes, yeah. Okay, I was trying to fix, okay, the Sanskrit. Ajopi. Ajopi means although I am not born, unborn. Means it's not really a birth. San Abhyayatma. San Abhyayatma. Being imperishable self. Bhutanam Ishvara Api San. Okay, Bhuta, this is the first interesting point, that Bhuta means both a living entity and being in the sense of state of being. Bhuta means something that has come to existence. So it applies to the bodies and to the circumstances as well. Okay, so Ishwaropi San. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya. Adhishtaya means situated but also controlling. Like situated in the driving seat, so to speak. Sambhavam. I take birth is maybe not completely applicable, but still the avatar manifests at a particular time. So it can also be described as a Bhuta, in the sense that it's the bhavam is starting, sambhavami, means I become, I take birth, I manifest. Atma Mayaya, through my own power. Myself, Atma Mayaya. Okay, which is not what the conditioned souls do. 7. O descendant of Bharata, Arjuna, whenever Dharma declines and Adharma rises, at that time I manifest myself. This is a very famous verse, and we hear it in almost all the TV serials. When in Mahabharata is and you get yada yada hidharmasya, So it's important, but we need to actually understand the idea when dharma declines and adharma rises. And Srijamyaham means I create myself, I manifest myself. So it's never a regular birth. And we see from the Bhagavata Purana and the other Shastra, we can see, especially from the Purana Mahabharata, like that Krishna's birth, body is not material. So, okay, famous verse. Then, too bad that in Kali Yuga, Vishnu doesn't come personally as Vishnu. He only comes as a teacher, as a guru, or a devotee. He doesn't come saying, it's me. So in Kali Yuga, Vishnu only manifests in the form of the name. Doesn't come personally. Anyway, that's what they say. Then we have to find out where the quote is coming from. Anyway, verse 8.
But many, raise objection on this that we are seeing so much of terrorism and also dharma is not there. So why Vishnu is not coming?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. The point is that I heard the explanation that in Kali Yuga, this I think is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was said by Krishna Chaitanya. Kali Yuga Namarupa Krishna Avatar. Chaitanya came specifically to distribute the holy names. And he explained that in Kali Yuga, the avatar of Vishnu, Krishna, is only through the name. I believe that he said that because in Kali Yuga people are so gullible. So just anybody comes forward and say, oh, I am the avatar of Vishnu, I am an avatar, people immediately, fall for it. There are people following the most unlikely, gurus, teachers, avatars, whatever, claiming to be avatars. I've seen the, Shirdi Sai Baba pictures with the body of Krishna or the body of Durga, on the face of this Shirdi Sai Baba or the face of Ramana Maharshi, People are like that, Shirdi Sai Baba, for example, there are so many people, so many Hindus, even Hindu activists, who are great devotees of the Shirdi Sai Baba, And there was some big controversy some years ago because one of the Shankaracharyas was, saying something that, the Shirdi Sai Baba is not, a real thing. But if we just go and see the objective facts, this Shirdi Sai Baba didn't give any Hindu teachings. Didn't teach anything. He was actually Sai, the word Sai, is used for the Muslim fakirs, or pirs. You know that? Maybe you heard about that? The title Sai is actually a Muslim title. So
Yes.
yeah, like the Sufis, how many Hindus are going to pay pranam to the tombs of the Sufis? Why they do that? Weird. So this Shirdi Sai Baba was just good guy, I guess. He was not going around killing the kafir or doing bad stuff. He was just like a beggar, like a sadhu, but a Muslim sadhu. And he was there, very nice, very quiet, very kind to people, and because he didn't speak much. People surmise that he had a lot of knowledge and realization, which is generally silly, because if someone doesn't speak, how do you know what he knows? You know, anyway, so he was there and doing his tapasya, being very nice and simple, like a sannyasi, sadhu, or whatever. And people were impressed by this guy who was so nice and quiet and kind, that they started to go there and offer pranam to get the blessings. You can get anybody, we give blessings, no problem. And, people go asking blessings from anyone. Because, it never hurts. Getting blessings, who knows? So at some point, I read that there was one prominent Hindu guy in the area who went to see this Shirdi Sai Baba, and he had been praying to have a son for many years, and he was never able to. And after visiting this Shirdi Baba, immediately his wife got pregnant and she gave birth to a child. And that was the beginning. So people started saying, oh, you go to, ask blessing, you get, this, you get that, lots of blessings, must be a great saint, might be an avatar, must be blah, blah, blah. But he, this Shirdi Baba never gave them anyone any reason to think that. They never said anything to that effect. And he said very clearly, I'm not a Hindu, I'm a Muslim. So he gave, he had a friend, a Hindu Brahmin, so he told this Hindu Brahmin, when people come to see me, you take care of them. If they want to ask things, why this, why that, if they ask questions about Hinduism, you answer, because I don't know anything. It is there in biography. I I made some research when I wrote my book Why I Became a Hindu, and about this Sai Baba, who was considered the reincarnation of the Shirdi Baba and the Shirdi Baba himself, and he never even once gave any spiritual teaching. So, it's difficult to understand what people will follow, because if they think they can get some material benefit, they will do anything. They will eat and drink and do any weird puja, in the universe, because they think they can get some benefit. But Kali Yuga, it's better we just chant the holy name, And, after all, in Kali Yuga, what Sukadeva told Parikshit, he said that Kali Yuga has lots of defects. But one good thing among all these defects is that people are encouraged to make a serious effort to attain the level of realization. Because, there's so much, so many problems, so much adharma, that we really should focus on doing something ourselves about it, instead of waiting for Vishnu to appear. It is said in Kali Yuga there are only two. The only avatar is Buddha. I don't know, because it might have been a little tempered there. Puranas might have been confused a little bit. It is certain that Buddha was considered one of the main 10 avatars of Vishnu by the time of Jayadeva Goswami. So of that we are sure, because he wrote the famous Dasavatara Stotra and Buddha is there. But from the Bhagavatam, it looks like Buddha is not exactly that guy. Someone else. But, anyway, but Buddha in any case came as a teacher. He never went around saying, I'm God. So, it could be technically accepted. And the last one is Kalki, who's not exactly teaching, but it's not exactly in the Kali Yuga either, because it's the end of the Kali Yuga. It's outside the door. And Kalki just comes to kill all the politicians and bureaucrats. Which, I think it's not really a bad idea. But anyway. So, okay, does that answer your question? Why is not coming Kali Yuga? Because now there is a lot of adharma and we don't find much dharma anywhere. Because it looks like we have to do something ourselves. or maybe we can meet an avatar and we don't even recognize it. Like when Krishna came, there is a famous, you'll remember, in the Bhagavata Purana when Krishna arrives in Mathura, different people see Krishna in different ways. Not everyone recognizes a God. Even Krishna, who says, I am God, which was not even in Kali Yuga. So just imagine in Kali Yuga, you could cross paths with someone and, that might be an avatar, you have no idea. So, but the purpose of the avatar, if this is another consideration, is if Vishnu came as an avatar now in this period to destroy all evildoers, I think that not many people will remain on the planet.
Yeah.
So the way to destroy the evildoers is to convince them to stop doing the evil. Killing the evildoers is not very practical in Kali Yuga. So, just if for that same reason, in Kali Yuga, the karma is only calculated in the actions, not in the words or in the thoughts. In other yugas, even a bad thought will create karma. In Kali Yuga, you actually have to do it, to do it in practice, to make some bad karma. As long as you say you want to kill someone, you're not going to get the karma for that. Other yugas you do. But in Kali Yuga, you can rant and rage and then calm down and everything will be okay. Of course, if we keep committing bad actions through the speech or the mind, there is more danger that we will actually do it with the body. That is sharirika, vachika, buddhika, right? So the sharirika karma is actually the real one, because if we had to keep accountings of the vachika and the buddhika bad actions, we would be in a bad place. So, the second verse that always goes together with the other one. The first one is yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. And this one is paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. This is also in lots of serials and movies and stuff. Now, this is very interesting because sometimes it is translated in a very misleading way. Sometimes, for example, I think that ISKCON Gita is saying something like that. Like, I have myself to protect the devotees, destroy the miscreants, and to establish religion. This is so Abrahamic, because the sadhu is not a devotee. Sadhu is a good person. Duskrita is not a miscreant, is someone who is doing bad things, evildoer. And dharma is not religion. So if we think that Krishna comes to protect the devotees, destroy the miscreants, and to establish religion, this is a very sectarian Abrahamic view. The devotees have a special protection from Krishna, even if they are not good people. They also use the other famous verse, Api chet sudurachara bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavya. Right? But they think that a devotee can, be an evil doer and still Krishna will protect him. This is not a fact. This is not a fact. In the same way, they think that a miscreant is someone. Miscreant, the origin of the word mécréant is from the French mécréant, which means someone who does not believe. It means infidel, non-believer, kafir. So if Krishna destroys the infidels, he destroys people who don't follow him, don't worship him. Well, Krishna never does anything like that. Krishna actually says, I do not hate or favor anyone. Right? There's no such thing as the chosen people. If a devotee is misbehaving, Krishna will take care of him. Not by protecting him, so that he doesn't go to jail or he doesn't get any karma, but by teaching him that he is not a devotee. So, anyway, to establish Dharma, establish the principles of Dharma. We know the principles of Dharma are very simple. They have nothing to do with faith. They have everything to do with ethics and conscience. They have nothing to do with faith or loyalty, allegiance, or following, or worshipping, or accepting as God. There's nothing to do with that. So this is very important because many people can make confusion on this. Then go next, verse 9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvata tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. Arjuna, one who truly knows the divine nature of my birth and activities, does not have to take another birth after leaving this body, but comes to me. So, if we understand the Brahman, we can understand the Atman. So, if we understand the Atman, we can understand the Brahman. This is why the second chapter of Gita, Krishna started his teaching by explaining what is the kshetra and what is the kshetragya. So this is the basis of knowledge. Okay. Then we have 10. Many who were free from attachment, fear, and anger, fully taking shelter in me, have been purified by austerity and knowledge and attained my realization. Mad bhavam agataha. My state, my being, my realization, but also my existence, because it's a Brahma Bhuta. You know, the Bhagavan is the foundation of Brahman. We can attain, when we attain the Brahma Bhuta, we can then reach the true bhakti. Like Krishna will say in the conclusion of Gita, Brahma Bhuta prasannatma nasochati nakankshati samaksaveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. At that point, after attaining the level of Brahma Bhuta, one can actually get into bhakti. Many people have the misconception that to attain bhakti, we have to reject the Brahma Bhuta. If we go to the Brahma Bhuta, we are lost. That's not what Krishna says. Funny, they think they're devotees of Krishna. They have no idea what Krishna says. Anyway, they read the Gita. I don't know why they cannot see that. Anyway, 10. We finished this one. Any question about this?
Yeah, this and the previous one.
Yes.
First, on the previous one, when Krishna says that this Janma Karma Chame Divyam, so
Yes.
he's talking about his avatar or
Yes.
his being Ajanma and like, what one should know that
Yeah.
he's
That's
already
yes.
all exists.
Yes, that includes it. Okay. Now the knowledge of the birth and activities of Krishna or Vishnu or Bhagavan, Ishvara, whatever you want to call, right? They are not material, so it's not a material birth. So this realization, this understanding, this knowledge of the divine nature, the transcendental nature, divya, of the avatar, and it is the same because in fact all the all the forms of Vishnu that we can see are actually avatars, because otherwise Narayana is not manifested in this world. When he manifests in this world, he is called an avatar. So we have even the Karanadakashai Vishnu, Mahavishnu, is an avatar. So there is, Bhagavan is the foundation of Brahman. So the avatars don't come from the Brahman, they come from Bhagavan. But there is a moment when they manifest, and they manifest through the Shakti. When any form is manifested, it means that Purusha and Prakriti become distinct from one another. In the Brahman, they are one. There is no distinction. Everything is there at the same time. At the beginning of the manifestation, which even the great manifestation, that includes all the unlimited cycles of manifestation of the universes. That is a great manifestation, the very beginning. But that is the beginning. Because Karanodakashai Vishnu is reclining in the Mahatattva, which is already material, the material, total aggregate of all the material creation. So it's still an avatar. In Vaikuntha, in the spiritual sky, we can say, in the spiritual reality, which is not a place, it's an existence. There is no separation. The Leelas all are. They don't develop. When you go to, let's say, Vaikuntha, Goloka, Vrindavan, let's say Goloka, Vrindavan. In Goloka, Vrindavan, Krishna is at the same time always a child, always a young man, always, all the how you call the divisions of the age of people, Bala, Yovan, Kishore, Krishna is all that at the same time. It's not that you have the day, starting the day, and then at the end. At the same time, simultaneously, you have the morning when Krishna gets up and goes with the cows to the forest, and at the same time it is noon. Then that all the Krishna and all the Gopas have a lunch break and take out the picnic baskets, and at the same time it is the evening that they come back home with the cows and they sing and they and they're met by the adult residents of Gokula or Goloka. At the same time, everything is happening at the same time. So this is something that is not easy for people to understand, because it's non-manifested, avyakta. Manifested means there is a beginning and an end. Is that clear? Non-manifested doesn't mean that nothing is there.
Yes.
Many people are confused with this thing of the Nirguna Brahman. Okay, so Brahman is non-manifested, means nothing is there. No. In the Brahman, everything is there, but it's not manifested, doesn't have a beginning and an end. The avatar has a beginning and an end, right? The avatar appears, it looks like it's taking birth and does some activities, and then it disappears. But this means manifestation, a beginning and a end, bhuta, bhava. In the spiritual world, on the spiritual level, in the non-manifested level, everything is there at the same time. This is why we say it's non-manifested. So, and nirguna, guna applies, in this case of the nirguna, applies to the three modes, the three gunas of material nature, sattva, rajas, tamas. So that in the non-manifested stage, there is no change. So there is no play of the gunas. So there are no gunas. But it's saguna because it has so many qualities. Brahman includes all the qualities. So the qualities means the attributes, the characteristics, everything that can ever exist, ever existed, or will ever exist is there in the Brahman. But it's non-manifested. So, so that's why it's difficult for people to understand the real divine nature of the birth and activities of Krishna or Vishnu or any of the avatars, because it's a manifestation of something that is always there at the non-manifested stage. It's like like you have some atta, and from the big bag of atta you can make so many things. You can make paratha, you can make roti, you can make so many things. You have the atta is the substance that already has all the qualities for, whatever you want to do with it. Or we can make a better example with gold. When you have the gold in the ground, has the same qualities, same activities and characteristics and qualities of any gold object. But it's not manifested because you need to take it out. You need to take out the gold from the ground, from the ore, and melt it, and then it starts to be a ring or a necklace or whatever you want to do with gold. Then the ring starts to be manifested, starts to exist, but it's always there, non-manifested in the gold ore. You see the difference? It's not that the gold ore, nothing is there. Gold is there. But it has to start to be manifested in some specific form. And when Christians say, through my Maya, Srijam Yaham, Srijam Yaham, I manifest myself, Atma Maya, from my own Maya. God doesn't need anyone to take the ore and extract the gold and make some, object. He's doing it everything by himself because all the consciousness, all the power is there. But it's doing that through his Maya, through his energy. Because it's energy that does the activities. So in the case of the avatar, the birth and activities are managed by Yoga Maya, which is not Mahamaya. I mean, it's the same Maya, but it's on a totally different mode. It's a transcendental mode. The Yoga Maya is the power of that divine power that connects us to God. Yoga means to connect. So Yoga Maya is the Maya that connects us to God. I don't know, is that clear?
Yeah, but that again,
Yes.
one question from this
Yes.
analysis.
Yes.
So when we say that there are in the non-manifested, there, it contains everything,
Yes.
right? So in that way, can we say that I think in Bhagavatam also it says that there are innumerable avatars, like
Yes.
the
Yes.
waves in
Yes.
oceans, right?
Yes. Yes.
So can we say that whatever we have heard through Puranas or scriptures, there might be some existence which we may not be aware of, as in within this Brahman only. Maybe somebody may worship something which we might not have heard of, and he can be in that
Yes.
relationship.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. This is why, Krishna is showing the Vishwarupa to Arjuna, and he sees all sorts of forms, innumerable forms, not just the ones that people, in India used to know, God is a Jagannath, is a Lord of the universe, is the God of the entire universe, not just the God of India. So.
But in that case, why we should have objection if somebody is doing as we multiple times we discussed that
Yes.
Ganesha is having specs and all those kind of things. So is it not
That's
that
a
if somebody is
problem.
having,
Yeah, that's a problem. Problem is ignorance. Because, people should not have problems with the forms of the devas. Krishna says, Yanti deva vrata devan, pitri nyanti pitri vrataha. So, if you worship devas, it's okay. You associate with the devas, and your mind builds that type of consciousness. You develop that type of consciousness that will allow you to go and associate with the devas after you die, just like you did in life, you'll do in life. Now, after you die. The problem is that the Abrahamic mentality is saying that because one is God, you can only worship one God. All the other, if you worship some other God, that is a capital sin. So many people who approached Krishna Bhakti from an Abrahamic perspective, they think that by disrespecting the devas, by disconnecting themselves from the devas, they are showing a greater exclusive devotion to Hari. But one of my favorite quotes from Rupa Goswami is talking about this problem of exclusive devotion to Hari. And I think you know the verse. It's a Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidhimbina. Haikantika Harer Bhaktir. Utpatayaiva Kalpate. It's not just okay, it's okay. Let everybody, let 1,000 flowers bloom, and, at least they're chanting the names of Krishna, they're chanting the names of Hari, and whoever is chanting the name of Hari is a great soul, and even if he's not behaving properly, he's a big sadhu because blah, blah, blah. No! It's a useless disturbance to society. It's a fantasy. Such a fantasy is a disturbance to society because it confuses people. And what is, Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Adim, everything. So not just the Vaishnava Puranas. We need to actually go in accordance to the Shiva Puranas and the Shakti Devi Puranas. Otherwise, our idea of being exclusively devoted to Hari, Aikantika Harer Bhaktir, it's a disturbance to society, it's a fantasy. It's a dangerous deviation. And this is Rupa Goswami, is not Adi Shankar. People who claim to be Rupanugas, they don't know what they're doing. Aikantika Harer Bhakti. Right? Why they're criticizing Ganesh? Why they're criticizing Durga? Why they're criticizing Shiva? Because they're ignorant, they're foolish. You see the point? It's not that you have to actually worship all the forms of God. It's not like that. If you just want to worship, Shama Sundar in Vrindavan, okay, great, no problem. You don't need to do any other worship. You can even not do any ritual at all. You can just chant the name of Krishna, you'll be okay. Not even the whole Maha Mantra, you can just say Krishna, 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 Krishna. It's sufficient. But why do you have to offend the devas? You see the problem here. It's not because you only want to worship Krishna. Yeah, well, great. It's fantastic. But if you are saying that you are only worshipping Krishna and then you are disrespecting Krishna's limbs, the devas are limbs of Vishnu's body. It's like you only like the face of your child, you disrespect his feet. You know, you don't take care of the feet of your child because, yeah, the feet are, not good, not good. I only want the face. How is that real devotion? This is ego. This is abhiman, ahankara. This is material. This is not spiritual. You know, and especially if you if you want to only depend on Krishna and then you go and worship the politicians, we have a problem. It means it's not Aikantika Harer Bhakti. Aikantika Harer Bhakti if you only have bhakti for Hari, not if you have bhakti for whoever can give you some material benefit out there. You see the difference here.
Yeah.
It's difficult because people naturally want to get help in their daily life. Big things, small things. We all appreciate help. We all approach people who might be able to help. It's normal. But then we cannot keep the ahankara and the abhiman to say, oh, we are only, we only want Krishna. No. It's very dangerous. This Aikantika Harer Bhakti is so dangerous. Because in this world, you cannot be so arrogant to say, I only deal with Krishna himself. I will not deal. It's like in the government. Okay? So you want something from the government that you just want to go and speak with the prime minister. You're not going to speak with the secretary. You're going to slap his secretary, just ignore him or insult the secretary. You cannot do that. It's not the way. It's not the way. Oh, I only want the prime minister. And so, they give him a picture, someone, and say, okay, this is the prime minister, talk to this, But that's Maya. That's not a fact. What they're worshipping is not Krishna. It's their idea of Krishna. This is not the same thing. So, it's a bad, it's a problem. It's a problem. This is why we have so much adharma everywhere. It is coming from ignorance. But if we actually come to understand, to know the divine nature of the avatar, we understand that we have the same power. Because we are Atman, we are parts, and we are cells in the body of God. So we have exactly the same power. Not the same quantity of power, but the same quality of power. You see the point? So we don't need to take another body. Because we can develop our own spiritual body that doesn't depend on anything. It's not material, it's transcendental, it's completely consciousness. It's made of consciousness, so it can do anything, be anything. So why do we need to take another birth? But we become like God, like the avatar here. Mom, Naiti Mam, 80 Surjuna. Tyaktva deham punarjanma, Naiti Mam, 80 Surjuna. Yeah, where it is, it comes to me. I think I added that. Yeah, mom.
I think in the next verse it
80,
comes
80
in that
comes.
bhava.
Okay, come. Yeah. Before he was talking about bhava, right? You remember that? Bhava is like
Hmm.
the same like avatar. Man bhavam. Yeah. The bhavam of Krishna speaking is the same bhava of any avatar. So when we become liberated, when we attain moksha, we have the same bhava of God. Like I was talking with Dinesh the other day, we have God-like powers, in a sense, because our body is just made of consciousness. This is also possible to do through yoga, the yoga siddhis. That's not something that only Krishna can do. Okay. Now, if a yogi actually, in this life or from the work from previous lifetimes and everything, if a yogi actually comes to the realization of the yoga siddhi, all the yoga siddhis are nothing but the ability to manipulate matter through consciousness, to manifest consciousness, and through the consciousness to manifest anything. So how is that different from the avatar? Only in quantity, not in quality. Quality is the same. You see how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So when we attain the bhavam of Bhagavan Ishvara, we can do anything that Ishvara can do. In small, of course, but still we are the quality is exactly the same. That's why you say aham brahmasmi. I am Brahman. Yeah, not the whole Brahman, but we are part of the Brahman. And when there is no distinction, there is no beginning or end, then you are Brahman. There is no boundary. Individual nature is still there, but it's like a molecule of water in the ocean. You don't really have boundaries. Okay. Anything else from here?
It is clear.
Okay, thanks. So 11. Oh, this
So
is.
can we stop here or
Yeah, we
uh,
can stop here. Yes. We can stop here and we continue next time.
yeah?
No problem.